nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda is Pam Goffnett.
Okay, first thing I have is payroll, and one of the tags just fell on the floor. It is for your regular payroll that was distributed back on May the 10th for all employees for $149,077.16. And there was overtime paid out to the health department for $2,801.70.
Okay, any discussion?
No. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second. Vote by roll call. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Also vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0.
Okay, next are the minutes, and I think Teresa mailed these to you guys for your review for March the 1st and March the 16th, if you have any changes or revisions to them.
Any discussion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion to approve the minutes for March 1st and March 16th.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second. We'll vote by roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Motion made, second carried, 3-0.
Okay, and the last thing I have is, and I think this was mailed out to you to go ahead and look over, is a GIS Data Exchange. We've had these before. This one is with the Spencer County EMS. They're saying that whenever they come over across the Perry County, so that way they can do our roads and stuff, I think, have a better idea of the roads and things better,
Oh, okay.
to be able to have the GIS.
Mhm.
So they're looking to be able to use our data exchange on our GIS.
Okay, is that any cost to them
Nope.
or us?
Nope, no charge.
Okay. Randy or Greg, you have any comments or discussion?
No, I think it's a good idea for them because they do come over quite a bit, at least in the northwest part of the county, a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
No worries here.
I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Second.
motion made and second. We'll vote by roll call. Randy?
Aye.
Aye.
They also vote aye, so motion made, carried 3-0. Do I
And
need,
that's all I have.
do I need to sign anything here?
Actually, I think I got it on the page here. Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
I've got
Okay.
All three of you need to sign on one of the X's,
Okay.
and then I'll fill in the rest.
Okay, that's all you have.
Yes.
Next thing on agenda is Charlie Little. Charlie, you got?
Yeah, I've talked to Tom since last summer about, we've got a real bad speeding and reckless driving problem in Rome. I know Rome's only 30-some people lives there. It's not really a big, I guess, population issue, but got a lot of kids and stuff, especially in the summertime, running around up there in golf carts, four-wheelers, bicycles, everything else. I almost watched a 10-year-old boy get run over by a car this weekend. Luckily, it was an older person. They was driving like they had some sense. I don't know what the speed limit is there. I think 35 or 40, I think, is the county road speed limit. There's no sign there, but I think it's 35 or 40 the county road. But we easily get them 60, 65 mile an hour coming by in front of my house. I live right there as you come into Rome. I've talked to Tom, and we've just been, it's been getting drug out with summertime now, and this is when we have the problems. Wintertime's not really a problem. I know we talked about putting in some temporary speed bumps. You can buy those little bags of pavement for $11 a piece. I've already priced them. $100, you could do the whole job. And in the wintertime, you could just, when the snow plows come, you could just take them out. They're not really needed in the wintertime. It's just the summertime when the population in Rome goes from about 30 people in the wintertime to 100, 150 some weekends. This weekend was probably 200, 250 people this weekend. And it was even going on 2 weeks ago when we had the Dogwood Festival up there. We had people doing burnouts all the way up the hill and over top of the hill. If you can go up there and look, there's burnout all the way up over the hill, coming from the river back up towards the house. And the sheriff, I've talked to Alan, the sheriff's department's done a really good job. I can show you on my camera. They're up there 3 or 4 times a night, and that's exceptionally, I think it's great. But the likelihood of them catching the people doing that or slowing the people down, it's not gonna happen, you know. I was in law enforcement several years myself, you just can't, they can't be there all the time. So, you know, I'm asking if we could put some speed bumps in on both sides of the hill or on one side of the hill, either one. You know, I've talked to all the people that actually live in Rome, and they all are in agreement that something needs to be done. They said they've even talked about putting stop signs on the crossways, but if law enforcement's not there to see them run the stop signs, they're not going to stop the stop signs either. But, you know, like I said, I seen a 10-year-old pull right at me. He was on a bicycle, and he ran right out in front of a car this weekend. You know, and I don't want to see somebody get hurt or killed up there because we didn't want to spend $100, $150 on speed bumps.
I don't know if I got back with you, but I have talked to Steve Howell quite a bit about it, everything from four-way stops to speed bumps. Steve, can you reiterate?
Well, the problem with speed bumps is, in my opinion, the NDOT doesn't recommend speed bumps anywhere within a parking lot. And if you put a speed bump in a county road, I think you're creating a liability for bicycles and scooters and four-wheelers or side-by-side motorcycles. They hit that, and you cause it because you put a speed bump in the road. I think you check with NDOT. I've talked to Chris, called and talked to me about that too. And my understanding is he was kind of in agreement that it would cause a liability. And you would need to talk with him also, but that's a problem with putting speed bumps in.
But liability can go both ways. Now that y'all are aware of it, if somebody does get hit or killed, who's liable then?
Right. And I thought the speed bump
liability goes both ways.
Right, and I didn't think speed bump was a bad idea. That's the reason I talked to Steve about it, and then he talked to NDOT, you know, because we generally don't do much on the roads until we clear it with NDOT because they're the governing body. But I mean, I don't know what else we could do. You know, and do we want to talk to Chris again? You say you've talked to him already.
Yeah, Chris called me about it a few weeks ago, and we discussed it. We put a slow sign up there. There is stop signs from the two cross streets there. There's
Nothing
going
going
in,
straight through.
nothing going in there.
When they come around the corner, you farm uppers, you know, when they come around the corner there by Wilkerson's, it's flat on the floor till they get to the other side. And it's not the residents, it's people coming in.
Right.
You know, that's why I say in the summertime is the only time we need them. You know, we can take the speed bumps out. In the wintertime, I know the road crews do a great job keeping our road clean. I've never been late for work for the roads being bad.
Right.
You know, and I don't want, but if you put these temporary ones in, like I'm talking about, you know, you can take those out in the wintertime.
I think you need to consult Chris about that and see what kind of liability.
Okay.
Like I said, liability goes both ways, though. I mean,
Right,
now
and
that
that's
now
part
that
of
the
this.
county's aware of it, if somebody does get hurt or killed, then, you know,
Right.
liability can go that way too if you want to.
Yeah, but I mean, that'd be part of the discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it is a dead-end road. I mean, it dead ends into the river. It's not like it's a thoroughfare where you're, you know, like Highway 66 or whatever, where you're driving straight through. And the speed limit is, Alan, I think county road's 35. There's no speed limit signs up there, but I'm pretty sure the speed limit's 35. And 35 would be fine if people would do that.
Right.
But they're not.
We can definitely do more signage. That's not. But I do want to talk to get some more advice on whether we put speed bumps in.
Yeah, like I said, you're up there all the time. You can see
That's-
see the road between
Yeah, and I
between the
could
river
probably
and my house is.
name the people that are doing
Yeah,
it.
you don't need to blacktop it because it's got plenty of river on it already. So,
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, I don't have any kids, but I do have grandkids and dogs. And like I said, I don't even know the kids that was up there this weekend. But I mean, I was a first responder for years and still a first responder where I work at. And I don't want to work that, and I definitely don't want to see it. You know.
Well, we'll definitely talk with Chris about it. I mean, I can't commit. I mean, I don't think we can commit today to it, but we do want to check into it a little further. And I know there's a lot of efforts going on in Rome with the courthouse and community center. And
Yeah, they was doing burnouts up there during the Dogwood Festival a couple weeks ago.
They were still doing it
Yeah,
during all that traffic.
during the Dogwood Festival, not even after it was over. It was during the Dogwood Festival.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and my theory is, if they wanna do a burnout and they hit the speed bump, you know, you're gonna find out who it is, cause the rear end's gonna be laying there, you know?
Right.
So, but I think, you know, I mean, other than the liability issue, I think speed bumps is the way to go. I mean,
Mhm.
Well, I know PennDOT is, our recommendations, and if we do something to the road, like we had a person put a board across the road to slow traffic down, and, I checked with PennDOT, and they said, if they put that out there, and they tear up, cause the vehicle get tore up, then they're liable for that vehicle, so there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of liability issues.
like I said, liability, you know, you can stretch liability however you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
How it works.
yeah.
Now, I know if you put something across your own private lane,
I talked about putting them in myself, and I was advised by a friend of mine not to do that. so.
Right. Right.
It might make you liable.
So, but,
Where is the slow sign at?
It's before you get to the intersection back this.
Like toward Hawks?
I don't know if you've been up to Rome, the new pole barn house, I think it's right there on the other side of the street from my house, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. It's been a while since,
But like I said,
6
they're
months
not,
since I've been up
they're
there.
not paying attention to any of the, you know, unless one of the police officers is sitting there, they're not paying any attention to anything. You know, they're doing whatever they want to do. You know, and my complaint is that I live there, and they just come up for the weekend to have a good time and go back home, you know. If I went in front of their house and did the stuff they're doing there, they would be in here doing the same thing I'm doing, I'm sure.
mhm.
Well, I still think, some speed signs, it's probably not gonna help, but at least they can see what speed limit actually is, so. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put a couple 35-mile-an-hour speed signs up there.
Now, if we change, do you guys remember when we changed speed limit, you have to create an ordinance for that, right?
That's not changing the speed limit, the
That is-
county's a state ordinance, isn't it? The
No,
county
you
road.
still have to do it. You have to, when we did it, yeah, he's correct. When we changed the speed limit, we do have to have an ordinance.
And I mean,
it's-
if the
it's
speed
already
limit's-
35 and you post 35, you're not changing the speed limit.
Yeah,
right?
we're not asking to change it, I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah.
posting it, I mean, it's
I
trying to do
mean, but
something.
even lowering it, as long as it fell under the guidelines we're allowed to, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all either.
Yeah, well, like I
Nobody
said-
needs to be going over 25 mile an hour through that town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like I
that's
said,
probably true.
it's not a block or 2 blocks long, but like I said,
Mhm.
you're up there enough, you know, that, you know, between Hawk's house and my house, I've seen 55, 60 easy, I mean, lots of times. I don't know if they're trying to ramp that hill or what they're trying to accomplish, but they can't be that big a hurry to get, and it's usually coming that way. It's not, the burnouts and stuff is coming from the river back, but the speeding is mostly coming from town into Rome, you know, coming from Hawk's house into Rome. It's like I said, it seems like when they turn that corner, it's just, how fast can I get before I get to the camps, you know?
Which is a block and a half away.
Yeah, 2 blocks at the most, yeah.
2 blocks at the most, yeah. Okay.
In the meantime, I know, Steve, we've got that signage that we've been using out for the vaccine clinic, but I mean, could we actually put that maybe out in that area somewhere for temporary, just to, it's a huge,
Yeah.
probably 3x4 sign, and
Yeah.
and it actually will read your speed, right? That one will? So, you know, that might be something, it's a visual deterrent, not a physical deterrent,
Yeah.
but at least it's something in the temporary time frame, you know, to see if it helps at all, you know?
Like I said, anything can help, like I said, it's just been,
Alan, that's something that seems.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. I would be worried about that area, something happening to that, but.
put it in my yard, ain't nothing gonna happen to it, I got cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your yard wouldn't be a bad place for it.
No, like I said, you could put it there, just right there in the flat spot between the new driveway and the, I guess that's
I
East
don't
Rome
believe,
Road.
I don't believe
It's
it's
Rome
the
Road.
speed that's the problem, it's
Yeah.
how they're driving.
Well,
Yeah,
and the
no,
speed is also, I mean, like I said, when they're coming into town,
Yes.
the
That's
speed is a
different.
problem.
I'm talking about on your just
Yeah,
dead end.
yeah,
The speed is not too bad there, it's when they take off from there.
yeah.
I would hope it would grow up a little bit, but they're not, are
No,
they?
most of them's my age.
Right,
So,
I know.
They're not grown up yet, they're not going to.
Right. So, yeah, well, like I said, I've been talking to Steve about it, you know, since you and I chatted up there.
Yeah.
I think I talked to Kathy, and, like I said, that's the deterrent we hit.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk to Chris, see what else we can do, and.
I said, we hope that, I mean, we caused enough conflict in the neighborhood up there last year, I thought maybe it would calm down, but, it's already started back up this year, and they haven't even started camping yet this year, so.
I was hoping they'd calm down too.
Yes, there's only one way to calm it down is either speed bumps or, you know, like I said, if we're lucky enough, Alan does catch some, you know, his people does catch somebody up there, but like I said, they can't be there all the time. They got one or two guys on duty, you know, and Rome's a very small part of the county, you know.
But you
Right.
haven't seen us up there though.
Yeah, you got, I mean, yeah, I've actually looked at my cameras, 11 o'clock last night, you had a deputy go through in a pickup truck, so. And then Saturday night, they had one up there about the same time, there was one up there, actually pulled somebody over right down around the corner from us, so. That's what I got.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
So hopefully we can get something. I mean, I just don't want to see somebody get hurt up there.
Right.
It's aggravated enough hearing it and watching it go by your house, but, you know, I don't want one of them end up in my driveway or end up in my yard or in my house. And I definitely don't want, like I said, seeing the kid almost get hit this summer really, or this weekend, really bothered me.
Right, well, it's a nice area, and it's a nice place to camp,
Yeah.
and we wanna leave it,
Yeah.
keep it that way.
Okay. That's all I got.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is Alvin Evans.
Morning. On the quotes for Industrial Park South Entrance Road, the quotes were 4 quotes were received for it, and the least expensive was EMB paving. It's $65,300.
How much?
$65,300.
That's a little less than what we.
Yeah, and then the second was CNR construction at $67,770. So they weren't out too much. And then you went up to Calcar $75,500 and Rudolph $78,000. So I'd met the estimators for everybody except EMB's estimators, but they said that he talked to me on the phone, and then he mentioned that, and in the quote it says they'll do it as per the document that was sent to them, so we should be covered on the work that would be done as was anticipated to. So.
What about the striping, wasn't that extra?
The striping's included in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're to stripe it the same way it is striped now.
And then AT&T or ATTC is going to do their approaches?
Well, they're responsible for all the approaches. They're not in bad shape, so once we get the main line, they can make the street itself paved and decide what they want to do there. But they did a little bit of patching this year back away from the approaches a little bit already.
Okay. Now, we're on the council agenda for the additional,
Will be, once you guys,
but
it won't go until June. This month, if you come, you'll need to do an intent. Have the council do an intent, and then we'll have to put it on for June.
And
That way they can go ahead and start the process. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till June before they can even start, but if you at least
Yeah.
get an intent from the council next week, that way they can go ahead and start.
yeah, I'm not sure what their schedule is. Did you get?
I'm
anything
not
from
in
them?
the schedule from them. I can get that. That's probably June anyway by the time I get scheduled.
Because
for 'em, so.
it's too late to advertise for next week's meeting, so we'd have to advertise it in June to go to the June meeting.
So we need a discussion on whether to accept their quotes?
Yeah, you guys can approve the additional if you want, if you're accepting the quote, get that approved so that way I can get it on for the June meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Randy or Greg, anything?
I'll make a motion for E&B.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second. Vote by
And I
roll.
would like to see the council do an intent, then we'll know where we're at, and,
We want to do two different motions on that?
we can,
Yeah,
let's get this one out of the way first, so.
okay. Motion made and second to accept E&B's 65,300.
Yes.
And vote by roll call, Randy?
Aye.
Great.
Aye.
All right, I vote aye also. Motion made, second carried, 3-0.
So you're doing this for 65,300.
Yes. Do we need to ask for that amount then? I mean, out of the,
I'd ask for maybe 1,000 more, just so when something pops up, that would cover it then.
not to exceed,
Okay, so I got it for 66,300.
Or maybe 6, 7, make it round number, whichever.
not to exceed, the proper way to put it. And we had discussed in the last meeting out of edit.
Yes,
Correct.
special edit, yeah.
Hmm?
So any discussion?
That's, I think that's the right place to pull it from.
Okay.
That's the only place we got, so.
The motion to ask for an intent for additional out of edit for 67,000, not to exceed 67,000, is that correct?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, motion made, second.
Okay, so here's your
Vote by roll
additional.
call, Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second carried, 3-0.
There's your additional to sign.
All right,
Did Randy make that or Greg?
Randy.
I did.
Okay.
Charlie, did you, what we doing?
Someone will have to come to the council meeting and request them for them to
Okay.
do the intent, okay?
At the next meeting.
Next week's
Following
meeting. Yeah,
Okay.
next week's, May 27th is the meeting, so, okay? Oh,
Alright.
you'll need to pass that down, Greg and Randy. and
Oh,
sign
they'll
the
sign
bottom.
it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question about that.
Mhm.
So those were sealed bids that were built in fluff?
No,
No.
quotes.
No.
The sealed bid, the bid, you have to seal bids after, what's the amount?
300,000.
300,000.
Okay, so those were just bids and then.
They're just quotes, so.
Quotes.
Yeah.
Over 50,000, you have to get at least three
Three
quotes.
quotes, yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So,
Guess just keep that down there.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We'll line everything.
My normal thing, I don't know why I wasn't doing it.
Okay,
Okay, Industrial Park South, Riverview Industrial Park, south building pad, permission, seeking permission to do an EDA application, a grant application for that. And, which it's, the estimated cost is, $3 million, which includes engineering and grading and all, and that's, and the grant application, if it's, depends on which fund it is, the EDA decides to take it out of, it'll be a 50-50 grant or what, and so, so that would, the intent or the plan, consideration right now is to go ahead with it is that the PCDC would make the match by internal funds and borrowing, and then, so, and then 50% would be from EDA, and that would accomplish the south pad. And, I sent you got a picture along, but this one's larger here, and the south pad is this pad here then, and it will be, it won't go clear into here because Vectron's power lines are still in the way here, and so it'll come across sort of like that will be how the pad will come across then for now, but that would get the south pad. The south pad has access off of Schweitzer Road, so it would be accessible for any growth to occur. And so to promote and get somebody located on that pad then, so.
and this will be no county funds committed, correct?
No, this time.
Well, I mean, my question is though, if the PCDC pays for it, then how does the PCDC get paid? Eventually, there has to be.
Yeah, I hope, well, the intent is that the TIF would be occur, that whatever improvements are made, it'll be TIF'd in, and then the funds resulting from the TIF bond would reimburse the PCDC then, so.
So, I mean, in a roundabout way, it basically equates to a new TIF is what it amounts to. So, I mean, has the RDC even looked at this?
Okay, there's steps going on here. One, this is the first step, is this, that the commissioners approve the property. The second one is redevelop, if they're in favor of the project, because the project, the whole industrial park is an approved project, but not specific parts of it then. So this would be the specific part then. And from TIF, from the current TIF, it's an approved project. So separate out in a new TIF, because that money's already spent, as you well know. And so the new TIF would be naming the project again. The process would be, first is get approval from the commissioners, then redevelopment authority, who actually owns the property. There was a meeting this morning too, and get that approval. And then it'll be discussed with the redevelopment commission and then next. But the application will go ahead and be submitted, because anyway. So I mean, if it's not received, then it won't occur until an actual TIF bond is sold, and then something will be done at that time in the future.
So if we approve it today, though, then that application goes out. If we receive the grant, though, then we're going down the road. It's kind
You
of,
can still turn it down, but hopefully you would not. So
is there a rush to actually get this process started now?
if EDA has money now, they may not have money 6 months from now. So because there's a lot of projects going in. So
basically, it doesn't. If we approve for you to do the application, then it's not tying our hands to any new TIFs or any existing money or whatever. So,
no.
And it's not tying the PCD to having to do that either.
That's correct. PCDC is not going to do it until all that other stuff is in line too.
So we're not circumventing the RDC, is basically.
We're not circumventing the RDC.
That's
No.
all I'm making
No.
sure that we.
No, they will be made. They will be brought into it too. But
So this,
they do not control this. This is not their property. It's the redevelopment authority's property. So,
Okay.
so that's just start of the process.
So down the road, I guess basically, if we don't apply for it, then that stops it.
That's correct.
Right, but if we do apply for it and get it, it can be stopped at any of the next steps.
Yes, right. I mean, hopefully we've got everything's lined up, so when it does occur, then we do get the grant, which we're looking sometime this fall, late fall, before we know on the grant anyway. So, in history of making applications for grants.
So when is the application to be submitted? What's the?
They want to submit it as quick as possible. Indiana 15 is telling us we need to get it in as quick as possible.
This was a long-range plan anyway.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
already approved plan.
Yeah.
The plan was approved 2013. This is
I just don't want to tie. I don't want our decision to actually tie anything to the RDC. You know what I'm saying? Before we add their input, I want, because this hasn't went before the RDC yet, right?
Okay,
You
the
gotta approve it to get
2013,
there.
the 2013 plan's approved by the redevelopment commission and all the other bodies in the county that need to be approved by. Yes, that's in place now. This is part of that plan. And so now we're just doing this one phase of it. This is a method in order to accomplish it now. Now, but any future funds, future bond funds is going to have to be approved by, and there will be that process. There will be the plan will be included within that process then again too. So
The key to me is that we can stop it at any time. I mean, this is
Yes,
This is just
right.
seeing if you get the grant or not, but we could actually stop it.
yes,
But we can't commit the RDC.
no, you're not committing the redevelopment commission to anything.
Or
No.
We couldn't if we,
Right now, we can't even commit a new bond at this point.
Well, you can't They're the ones who do the bonds, you
That's
don't
what
do the
I'm
bonds.
saying. But
Yeah, that's
but I
right,
mean,
right.
indirectly, if we, that's what I was saying, is
No.
indirectly tying hands. is-
No,
Okay.
no, I'm asking, all you're giving approval now is do the EDA grant application. That's, the application will actually come from the commissioners, so.
Were there other projects that were slated that could be for this same grant, or is this the only option for this grant?
For the monies available, this is all the option that's available.
This has already really started when you put that pipe through, that concrete pipe, it's gonna be over top of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, part of the pad's already
Yeah,
grade.
that's why I say it's.
Right, yes.
We got it
Mhm.
started, we just will finish it, what I'm trying
Yes,
to say.
right, yes.
Or at least not close the door right now.
Yeah, yeah, or
We're not
You know.
committing any money. That's all,
No.
that's all I wanted to hear was there was no money being committed at this.
Not, you're not committing any money at this point, that's correct.
And you gotta realize it's for the future, I mean, you don't know what could be put there, and anything, if it's a level site, doors are open, that's what we need.
Tom, I think we do have one question out there if you wanna.
Oh, okay, yes, ma'am.
My question is with the TIF money. We've spent everything we can for both office. And the community has never, the schools, whatever, and we're already spending or thinking about spending TIF money that ain't even there.
What we're doing is we're applying for a grant, and if the decision is made to establish another TIF at that time, then that decision will be made at that time. We're not committing a new TIF district at this time. We're just leaving that option open.
Yeah, but if you get the grant, it's gonna go forward. They always do, correct?
That's,
May I-
go
may
ahead.
I-
Yeah.
Okay, the TIF district already exists. This property is in the existing TIF district now. That was accomplished in 2015 or 16. Now, there's been no improvements to it, so there are no tax increments to capture from it, because it's all publicly owned land, so there are no property taxes on it. So there's no tax increments being captured, so the timeline has not started on the TIF for that goes. If a project locates there and TIF, then the tax increments would be accomplished on those on the investments that occurs within that, and that would be, and that's what it's saying. South, the recouping of the costs would not occur until a project locates there, which would be TIF. TIF is on the new tax amounts. There is no effect at all on the existing community expenditures or income at that time. So.
But collection and debt are two different things, so I mean, if we,
The debt's being held by Perry County Development Corporation.
for now, right? I mean, that's the way it was in the last TIF, which forced the RDC to actually do what they did, so that's my point. So that, I got mixed feelings, I'm just, and I didn't know anything about this until yesterday, and so that's, I guess I'm new and learning, that's what it amounts to. But if we waited on the grant, you're saying that that timeline is not possible to get the RDC together before we actually apply that. Could we have the RDC get together before that application was submitted is what I'm asking. Is that a possibility?
I don't control when the RDC meets. So,
Do I have a week? Do I have 2 weeks? Do I have?
It'll take a month probably to prepare it. Yeah, they'll know, hopefully they'll meet before that time, so that's all known, so.
I'm okay with today motioning that we allow Alvin to prepare the grant, but I think we need, inside that motion, I want the RDC to meet before we actually submit it. That's my motion.
Okay.
So I want their input
Oh.
for this direction. I mean, that's the reason why we put them where they are, is to have that input, so.
Right, will that slow the process down?
No, it'll take probably a month, 2 months to prepare the grant,
Okay.
but we can't start having formal conversations on this, or Indiana 15 can't until they know that we're actually going to do the grant, so.
I
Or
don't think this
prob-
stops you from going down that road, this just forces you to have a meeting with RDC before you actually send the paper.
No, I
There's
I
no
have
problem with that.
What's that?
That's- This doesn't stop him from doing the work, this just,
Okay.
this just ensures that before we actually put it in the mail and put a stamp on it, that the RDC has at least some input or gets to be informed about it, you know, in a public meeting. That's-
Right.
I don't think that's
But we're not
beyond
making, and we're
reason.
not making any financial decisions except for that we're applying for the grant.
No, but we're all working together, and so I think
Mhm.
it behooves us to have the RDC informed and on board too. So
Okay.
we need to.
That makes sense.
But if you look at the process, it goes through the commissioners first.
I totally
And if we
understand.
approve it, and that gives the redevelopment a chance, well, the commissioners is in favor for this, for,
And they have that as far as their discussion points.
yes, that's kind of the way I feel about it.
But,
Because if it's in the plan, like Alvin said, started back in 2013, I think he said.
mhm.
If you drive down there and look at that, you can see it's halfway done.
If you,
And it
if,
should be finished.
if you
Not
did, if you're
trying to
doing,
kill it.
Yeah, I
I'm just
know,
trying
I
to
know,
keep everybody
but-
informed, because
but-
you know how it is, if we don't keep it in a light where we're actually all communicating, there's gonna be trouble down the road, because you have to keep this in an open light for the groups that we have, because it's one of those things where it's gonna feel like it's being pushed upon them, and you know what happens when you start doing that with the RDC, you can't do that, so.
Yeah, I understand that.
And it's
but-
not right to do that either, so both of those pieces, to me, boils down to communication, and that's all I'm asking for, is that you can have your continuation of the process, I don't have a problem with that. But we need to put in there a statement around communication that requires that communication happens before we actually commit an application.
Right, and could we?
Because I don't wanna commit an application and then we say, oh, sorry, the RDC says no and we're gonna turn you down. What does that look like to these guys when we go for the next one?
Does that have a negative effect on our future economic development grants? If we get approved for the grant and then turn it down because it doesn't fit, is that a truly negative light on the county?
will EDA hold it, will EDA hold it against you on the
Yeah.
next time you do a grant? I've been told yes, and I've been told no, so it depends.
Officially,
It
no,
depends.
but-
It depends. Officially, it's a no, but officially, yeah, so.
Well, what if, and I see Alvin's point that really we're not at the point to have an official RDC meeting to discuss it until we approve it, but if we table this till the next.
I'm not tabling it, the motion is for him to continue and require that he has an RDC meeting before he puts it in the mail. There's no tabling it, I'm telling him to go ahead, do the work.
I agree. That's
Okay.
essentially what I
It's
meant.
just a communication
That's what I
step.
mean
It's just
too.
one
so.
more
More
step
or
and a
less,
half.
we're passing it and letting him go ahead and start it.
Yeah, and requiring that the communication.
But we're not gonna put our name on the application until there's an RDC meeting.
So there's a discussion.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the problem with that? It
No.
slows him down none, right?
That's
And it
fair.
also allows us to keep that communication line open and keep that
Right.
process and, but, you know, there's a cooperation between our two groups. And we put them there for a reason, we should be using their level.
Actually, all three groups, redevelopment authority is also involved in
Yeah,
this process.
exactly.
That's why there's three entities and not one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay, so the motion is to give Alvin to prepare the grant.
He has the authority to prepare the grants and start communications with the RDC and RDA, our redevelopment commission and the redevelopment authority. And after those communications, then we'll be willing to sign it if we've got their.
Right, so we're not, he just start the application process and not actually do it, and that's
Yep.
basically, I guess I just worded a different way, tabling the decision to apply for the grant until the RDC and the redevelopment authority has been
I understand your wording now. That makes sense to me, yes, yeah.
We're
I
saying the
was
same
afraid you were-
thing.
I was afraid you were tabling him doing work, and I was like, no,
No,
I
I
want
wanted
to be able to do the work.
Table the
Gotcha.
grant application.
Yes, I'm good with that. I'm good with that wording, yes. Sorry, Tom, I did not understand. That makes
Yeah, I mean,
perfect
that's,
sense to me now.
because that was what's on the agenda, is the
Yeah.
grant application.
That was my fault. I didn't understand your
Fine.
wording. I'm sorry about that.
All right, so, then the motion will be to, do you wanna put the motion to, reconsider the grant application after the RDC, or table it, or whatever word we wanna use?
Yeah, table it until after the RDC, meeting for this, yeah.
But move forward as
Move
much as we
forward with
can.
the application, yeah.
Is that clear, Pam?
No, that's, I got it.
We're clear for the-
That was clear.
God bless you, Pam.
All right, ma'am, did that answer your question? I'm sorry, we kinda went a different direction.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I want it, we need input, so, and that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
So we got a motion
What
on
we're
the
trying to
floor.
do here, we're trying to improve, to create jobs.
Yeah.
And that's the only way Perry County's gonna get extra income, is from income tax. It's not property tax, it's income tax.
There's a
And that's the
lot
only
of
way.
money
If we can
spent.
get 1,000 new jobs in this county, that's what we're looking for.
And the property tax being, collected off of that never changes, it still goes, but if there's additional, improvements, then that's the only place that the TIF money gets collected from, is the additional.
So the original money's still going to the tax entities that it went to before, under a TIF district, correct, Alvin?
Correct.
Never
Anything
changes.
built on that, once that TIF district is established, goes to finance the improvements.
So the real question is, would the improvements happen without the efforts to make the improvements? That's where the discussion, has to be made.
It's a funding mechanism in the long run.
Yeah.
How do you build improvements that's the only funding we can see we got.
TIF is neither a bad nor a good tool. It's how a TIF is used. And if this particular process here is gonna land us a business and, gonna allow us.
And
to
pay
do-
for itself.
And pay for
Well-
itself, then that's what the TIF was designed for.
Yeah, I think it's a good tool, because other communities are looking at Perry County and how they do what they do.
Oh, I
with-
wasn't saying it was
with
bad.
less
What I'm
funding.
saying is
No.
it's like a hammer.
It's-
Hammer's great if I'm building something with it, but if I'm hitting somebody's head with it, that's probably a bad thing. But
Yeah.
it's still a tool, and that's what TIF is a tool,
So-
so. And I'm not saying this project is good or bad. I'm just saying it's something to look at, so.
Okay, so the motion is made, Randy, you wish to second it, or?
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and second, and we'll vote on by roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
And also vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0, to move forward,
2-0, 3-0.
3-0.
3-0.
Thank you.
To move forward with the grant application, but not officially make the application until the RDC and the redevelopment authority are met with.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Yep, next.
Okay, River Road Phase 2, engineering agreement amendment number 1. Lockmuller Group is submitting an amendment to their agreement, which will, which is moving money, the Compton sewer line, force main that runs through there now will not be needed in the future, as Compton is determined to construct their own sewage treatment plant. And so therefore the project had moving the existing line and out of the middle of the road over to the edge of the road and address other issues that are occurring with it. And so that's not going to be done now, and some of the geotechnical work is, and as they've accomplished their plans, that there's more geotech work, which is retaining walls essentially, going to be required in the project than was initially anticipated. And so this is moving portion of the money saved from this, from the we're not doing the sewer line to doing or engineering for the geotech work. And so that's what this amounts to. So it's a,
Motion to approve. I don't even have a discussion on that one.
it decreases it's actually decreasing the contract by $21,060. So,
Randy?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion made and second, we'll vote by roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0.
Do you have the signature page on that? We'll work on the testing later. Guess I will.
and NDOT actually has final approval over this, but it starts here.
This is,
This is on this River Road.
oh, okay.
That's it, unless somebody's got any questions on anything.
Thank you, Alvin.
Or-
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Alvin. Next on the agenda, Steve Howell, Highway Department.
I have several different things here. You want to do transfer first? Does it make any difference?
That don't make whatever order you want to take your.
Okay, first one is a transfer. This is getting our money in place for the community crossings, $170,855.27. The local matching share. This will get finish up what we need in there to make our 25% match for community crossings. Need you guys to approve that.
Discussion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made, second. Roll call, Randy?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion made, second carried, 3-0. Okay.
Then the last time we had the phase 2 on the bridge inspection with Lockmuir's, you guys wanted to review that. I wanted to see if you could go ahead and approve that.
Okay, I looked at it. I'm okay with it. Greg, you get a chance to?
I did. I actually was surprised. I didn't realize the bridges in town was ours.
Yeah.
So looking through that, I was like, that's in town. I was like, well, I guess we got those too.
Any bridge, what the
Any bridge in
definition
the
of a
county, I
bridge?
guess.
Anything over 20 feet
20 feet.
is ours.
Is that what it is?
And one of them here in town we're probably going to try to replace next year.
I had no clue. I learned something. Appreciate it.
Mhm. Yeah, all bridges fall responsibility of the county.
Well, we got 98?
99.
99.
Yep. And we didn't have any new ones go on the annual inspection this time, which was good news. And the one that was fracture critical out on Road 5 that we had to go look at every time there was a flood warning issued, they took that off the fracture critical. We did some work on it last summer, so save somebody running out there every time we have a flash flood warning.
And was able to do that in-house and didn't have to get a
Well,
contractor.
One of us, I usually had to go look at it after a
Mm-hmm.
flood, which I don't know what I could tell anything about anyway, but somebody you had to document that you went and looked at it, and somebody did. So I have that if you guys want to sign it.
Do we
You want to put her
we
aside?
need to approve it?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the bridge inspection.
Second.
Okay, motion made, second. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second carried, 3-0.
Then I have the contract from NDOT on the community crossings. I need to get you guys to sign them dates. This is just a standard, Chris has looked it over, I think I sent it to all
You
you
did.
guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just a standard contract to do with them each time.
And Chris has approved it
Yes.
also? Mhm.
This has to be signed in blue ink,
Oh, that's right, I remember that.
and, Tom, you'll need to sign this first one. I have my glasses on, but I think you're the first one, and Randy and Greg, there's a supplemental signature sheet here for them.
Okay, we'll have to get approval.
Yeah.
Randy,
Oh,
you're-
I'll motion for the approval of that, yes.
I'll second it.
okay, motion made, second. Roll call, Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second carried,
And then you give
3-0.
me a copy
Yes.
with their signatures.
Now, you don't have to test it this year, they've changed that since last year. You know, last year you had to test it. They've done
I
away
will
with that.
Okay.
get with you after the meeting,
Okay.
and, or all three of us will Make sure we sign the right place.
Yeah, cause I'll
Okay.
screw that one up and sign it with black or something.
All right, we'll set that over here for.
Okay.
You don't want me to blame for losing $1 million?
No, not over ink color.
Over coloring. That is the craziest thing though, I mean.
Yeah, no other marks on the page. If there's any marks on it, they won't accept it. You
Mhm.
Yeah,
really be
well,
careful with it.
Make
Yeah.
sure we're doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, be very careful when you sign it
I
there.
will.
Then I need you guys' approval on our community crossings. We have the community crossings part, and we also have an edit budget for bids we're gonna be sending out. Need you guys' approval on those. I think I sent those to you too.
Mhm. This is just to approve the bid package.
Right.
I'll make
Did
that
you send
motion.
them a copy of the notice to bidders also?
Pardon?
Did you send them a copy of the notice to bidders also?
I don't know if I included that or not. I think I did, but I'm not sure.
Sent the bid
Do you guys
package.
recall if you got notice to bidders?
Let me
Mhm.
see.
Okay, you got that too?
Mhm.
Is
Yeah,
when they're
he sent
opening
that.
them and everything?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
it. I got that too, yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, Greg,
Second, yeah, sorry.
okay. Motion made and second, vote by roll call, Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Motion made, second carried, 3-0 to approve the bid packages.
Okay.
Both of them. I was
Yeah.
approving both of them.
Okay, good.
That's all I had. Thank you, guys.
Okay,
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Mhm.
so that takes care of our first one on
Yes.
Yep.
the commissioners. All right, next thing on the agenda is board appointment, redevelopment. We got several applicants.
Yes, that's correct. I sent you each copies of the applicants that submitted interest. And those are Sherry Flynn, Jeremy Ramsey, Kelly Harding, Carol Hagedorn, and Keith Hook.
And I'll tell you guys, 3 of these individuals, they applied both times, and so, I mean, I think that means something too. I mean, that's, I think it was the 3 ladies that applied both times.
I think Keith Huck did too.
Oh, he did? I didn't
Uh-huh.
realize that one.
For
Okay,
sure.
so
I think
all
the only
4 of
new
those.
one we had was Jeremy Ramsey.
Jeremy Ramsey was the new one?
Right,
Okay.
and they've all, expressed interest again, correct?
Yeah.
I know Keith did, you sent that the other day, and I know Sherry and Kelly did, and, yeah, and I saw Carol's too,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right, all of them did.
But there was
Yeah.
others at the beginning of the year, correct, Teresa?
Yeah.
There were several that we'd received for the
I'm
year
thinking
end.
there was like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it kind of speaks volumes to reapply a second time, you know, once you've been, so that means
Well,
something
when
like
we,
that.
I remember when I took office, we talked about putting it out 6 weeks ahead of time because there was never any applicants. It was the same board members time and time
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And there's nobody new. And then we passed a resolution to put 6 weeks notice out.
Yeah.
We started getting more applicants.
It's always good if you can do a letter of intent process, you know, for something like that.
Mhm. So,
But yeah, I mean, any of those 4, I'm okay with.
5?
5. But like I said, I think that says something for the 4 that reapplied the second time.
Yes. Well, I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. I looked at all of them. I like Carol Hagedorn. I'll make a motion for Carol.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, motion made and second. I do know Carol's been involved in this a long time with Southwest, somebody here. She, with Greg Wathen and PCDC, and she's been along. Not to say that any other, we've got good applicants.
Yeah,
We
all, I
really
mean,
do.
all of them are good.
Yeah, but, motion made and second, we'll, vote by roll call. Randy?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
And I'll also vote aye. Motion made, second carried, 3-0. Next thing on the agenda, Teresa, you and I have talked about, the maintenance on this Tahoe out here.
Yes, and Greg
Charlie,
Hendershot.
you've been,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Greg's here to also talk about it a little bit. if
Okay,
you'd like.
I did look a little bit, the Kelly Blue Book on that is about 17 grand. And, we had a local, shop give us a hard quote of, you remember, Greg, 40?
It was
40?
just you had told me it was just under 4,500. from-
4489
Okay.
something. And then Uvallar's quote was
And I've got that in your folder too,
6,100.
yes.
it was quite a bit more.
So what we would need to do is, since there's not enough money in our vehicle maintenance fund, would be to, ask for an additional for that.
Is that
The-
drivetrain, powertrain? Transmission.
The,
What was replaced a while back, Steve? on
Can
the
you,
rear end?
can you
what?
come to the speaker
The
and
what?
talk, please?
The rear end was replaced.
okay, the torque converter was not,
Just the rear end. And I said that just so that they could hear.
okay. 'Cause- and what had happened to it was the radiator, which includes the transmission cooler, broke internally, and the, antifreeze got in the transmission. And so it needs a radiator and a transmission. And with it, being the shape, I mean, it's in excellent shape, and the Kelly Blue Book on it is somewhere around 17 grand. I mean, I believe, my opinion is that we should ask for money to fix it.
I have no problem.
So I'm looking for a motion to, go to the council for additional appropriation.
So motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion made, second, vote by roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
And I also vote aye.
So do you want to decide on that amount? And are you approving an additional at this time?
Well, I did talk to Jason, he said that 4489 and some change was a hard quote. So my opinion is to ask for an additional 45, unless you think we need more in that fund. Teresa, you're the keeper of that fund.
Is this going to be county general to the
That's
county
where-
car expenses?
That's where you have it now, it's in county general, don't you?
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. We just had a battery go out on the Impala, so we had to replace that, and that's actually gonna put the account in the red a little, depending on how much it is. I've got,
We only have like 200.
oh, is it? Well, it's gonna put
5,000.
me about $5 in the red then.
So do we want to amend that to
So, I mean-
5,000?
Yeah,
5,000?
then we'd have a cushion there.
You're right, because we only have like $200 in that account.
Some of that's been spent with paying some things that had come up
Batteries.
between the last time, the
Right.
battery, and there's been another flat tire and things like that on one.
And hopefully this will pay for itself by saving the mileage. I mean, I think that Tahoe's been used by the assessor's office quite a bit, and that's a good vehicle, and,
Oh, that's the.
The 4,500
I was
should,
gonna ask which department.
the
that was.
4,500 would probably
I didn't realize that.
make it zeroed out by the time we pay the bills. So as
So-
long as there's no other county car expenses
No.
for the
You gotta
remainder of the
realize
year.
the 4 vehicles were taken care of
Right.
till the end of the year.
Still have a half a year to go.
And
Yeah.
you said
Right.
something about
And
tires.
I have been informed that, I know that the Dodge Ram, the 2016 Ram's gonna need new tires. Probably not yet this year, but it will need it next year.
And
So
can the
just
newbie-
something of
Can the
thought.
newbie ask a question too? Just to make sure I understand, what we're asking for is the council to actually just put money in the fund so that we can spend out of that fund, right?
Yes.
That's the only thing we're really doing here.
Yes.
Okay.
The-
I thought it
But
was,
the
but
big
I wanna
trig-
make sure I knew what I was doing.
right, the
The
big
amount-
trigger
I'm new to
was,
this,
the
so,
big trigger
yeah.
was the large expense on that.
The amount budgeted in that line item was $300, so,
Sure,
you know, you're
yeah.
kinda counting on not having too much happen, but we've had some
Understand.
things that needed replaced or fixed on different vehicles, you know, windshield wiper blades or a regulator on electric window, you know, things like that, and then it just kinda used it up.
And the transfer you said would be from just the general fund to?
It's
this?
not gonna be a transfer, it'll be an
Transfer will be additional.
appropriation
Oh, just an appropriation out of it, okay.
out of county general.
Sorry, gotcha.
I
So
see we
the
don't
thing
have
of it is,
really
is
choice.
do you wanna add
Fix it.
more, or do you wanna just put the
Right.
4,500?
I'd
I
say
think-
5,000.
I think they amended it to 5,000.
Yeah, I would at
for you
least do the
guys.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that gives
Cause you
them-
know you got the 2 already, right? So you're gonna get close.
Right. So did we do a motion and a second? We've done that? Did we vote?
Yes,
I don't think
yes,
we
you
have.
did,
Yeah, we
Mhm.
have, yes.
yeah.
Motion and a second, yep.
So we just-
Okay, then vote by roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
I also vote aye.
Okay.
We good?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so that appropriation won't go to be approved until the June meeting. So the question is that something you want an intent on next week so that we can move forward
That would
with
be
getting
good.
the
We
Tahoe?
probably
So
should.
need to add that to
What
the
you think,
intent.
Charlie?
Okay, so now you got two things to come
Get
in
it
as
going.
an intent.
It could be fixed by then.
Does that require a motion or no?
Kelly needs it.
No.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
No,
good job.
no.
Well, right now, you're pretty much caught up, aren't you? Or you still need it pretty heavily?
We're just planning on going out the next month or so.
Okay. I mean, I know it's still drivable, but it's not
It's,
ideal.
We need to get it fixed as quick as possible.
Yeah.
As soon as
It
council
is
says
working out
yes,
real good for
we'll
you,
get it in.
right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. I thought it would. I'm good. I'm glad that we got something you can use. Because I know a car's not good and a pickup is not that great either, right? That's why I thought the SUV, to carry your papers and. Mhm.
That's what we need for right.
Yes. Okay. All right, miscellaneous? All right, next meeting.
okay, you all will be meeting this evening out at Perry Central School at 7 p.m. regarding the sewer discussions. Your next meeting here at the courthouse will be Monday, June 7th at 6 p.m.
Where is it definitely at the?
The last I heard
Library.
yesterday
Something's
from
wrong.
Jody French was that it was still gonna be in the library.
Library, okay.
Oh, okay.
And the paper said it's a council meeting, but,
It's
The
council. and-
newspaper?
I'll just, I'm gonna do it.
I'll get
stay on
that
the side
one
of
big.
you.
Why did he state it like
That's
that?
stupid.
Going to be there.
Yeah.
Listen, that's
yeah.
what it was supposed to be.
And I don't know, I
Don't
mean, I
feel
guess
bad.
I'm
You're gonna
confused.
get something.
We need to have the
Got
public
something. We can
meeting,
run back to town.
but,
At least I'm only.
yeah,
five
is it
minutes away.
considered a
Yeah.
commissioners
Tom didn't
meeting
sign something,
or
had to
just a
get-
Well, I
public
would've
meeting
screwed that
for
whole
that?
thing.
We
I'll
were
tell
just
you
told
that
that
right
we
now.
needed to
To
send it,
announce
announce
if
because you're gonna
we
have
had
more
so many
than.
of our members and you guys